When we read a lot of articles that tell us, give us financial advice, most of it's always geared towards the costs of our life, reducing those costs, and different ways we can kind of be frugal to make sure that we have more money at the end of our spending, or just to reduce our spending altogether. But not a lot of articles talk about the top of it, which is the income. The income is the top of how your budget starts, and the expenses are the bottom. And there's too much focus on the bottom because, standard of living has gone so high that it's nearly impossible to maneuver that, to change that, because some variables are just fixed. They're just like rent. Rent is going to be high always. All the prices of everything are increasing, groceries, everything. So there should be more emphasis on how we can change the top, which is our income. And yeah, there are multiple ways. So there's a few ways, but some are just not that feasible. Some of them are increasing your earning power by learning a new skill, and looking for a way to negotiate that into your current job to get a raise, or looking for a job that's similar that pays more at a different company. Another way is also passive income. This is just a way to make money on the side by doing some kind of side hustle, whether it's selling courses or selling books that you wrote because you have knowledge on something that someone else doesn't, or kind of creating some kind of a digital product, some kind of template of something that'll allow someone to do work on a goal that they're working on. So for example, say that you create a calculator for your budget on an Excel sheet, and you sell that $5 a pop for every person that is a follower, or for whoever you're trying to sell to. That's money that comes easily. It's passive income. Another way is to invest, and I know this one's a hard one. This is all for people who have money left over after their expenses, because there's some people who can't even make ends meet with their expenses that are necessary. So this is advice, or this information is not for people in that terrible situation. This is for people who actually have some money after their expenses. They're non-negotiables, like rent and gas and food, things that you need to live. So for investing, that's also a form of passive income. You don't have to be a day trader that's just gambling. That's just trying to beat the market when the market's unpredictable. Don't get me wrong, it happens, but most times it's a fluke, or you're expecting it to react in a certain way, and the market does, but most times you can't predict it. So again, passively, you can have a portfolio, buy ETFs, buy index funds, individual stocks if you want, bonds, and just sit on that money and let it grow, because you're going to make around the same money that someone who does active management, like someone who's day trading. You're going to make around the same kind of money in the long run. So that's another way to have another set of income coming in, especially if you're investing in dividend funds, because they'll give you dividends every quarter or so. So you have your regular income that you can raise the earnings by getting a new skill and negotiating to get a raise, or to get a new job that pays more, that's in the same field that you're in. Or you can get a side hustle and create something for yourself, some kind of digital product that you can sell as passive income. You can also invest in stocks and bonds and just rest on it, and that'll also give you some passive income. And these are all different ways just to be able to make ends meet, to make more money, to increase your income. So you can have multiple streams of income instead of just relying on one. So that way, at least you're growing this part if you can decrease this part of your budget. You're increasing your income even if you can't cut your costs any more than you already have. And I think that there should be more emphasis on this, because it's important. People need to know how to make more money and not just rely on one source of income. And it's unfortunate, because this is how it is these days, because a lot of us struggle to make money, and it's important to be able to, we can't change the system overnight, even if it does change at all. But what we can do is at least help ourselves in this situation by trying to make our streams of income increase some way or somehow.